In the remote mountain areas of central Yemen, the word of the tribal sheikh is law. And to enforce that word, the sheikh builds private jails. The people subjected to such tribal systems don't usually complain to the government. But in the region of Eb, south of the capital Sana'a, some tribesmen say they have protested because they can't take the treatment anymore. This man says he was jailed when the sheikh decided that his land property documents were fake and he should be punished. The prisoner's son described the type of private jail his father was kept in.
It's called the snake prison, a dark place that looks like a grave. It's just a large ditch where they keep you in the cold. And because it has no walls, they keep the prisoner in iron shackles continuously.
The phenomenon of private jails, however, has spread even to the Yemeni capital, and it's no longer limited to tribal sheikhs. If you can't believe your eyes, read it again. Jail discovered in Sana'a University, in the Faculty of Law. But nearly every major government institution has its own private jails operating independently from the justice system. Stories of these jails fill local newspapers. A jail inside an iron container. One man ran away from his jail with shackles still on his legs. Not believing what looked like media hype, I decided to trace Yasser al-Idrisi, a former prisoner.
They accused me of embezzlement, but they didn't announce the charge until after 7 months of secret imprisonment. At the beginning, they detained me in my own office for days. Then I was transferred to a prison inside the company. I was subjected to all kinds of psychological pressure in a small chamber. I got really sick, even mentally sick, and when my case was leaked to the media, I was released.
On the Muslim Eid holiday, Yasser managed to convince the jail guard to smuggle his children into the prison for a visit. Secret jails are not exactly an underground practice, however. It's happening beyond the law, but not without tacit consent from the government. And even the sheikhs living in Sana'a maintain the custom. We are now driving in front of the home of one of those sheikhs, just about 400 meters away from the Ministry of Interior. In this area alone, there are at least 3 other tribal sheikhs who have their own private jails, and this is the closest we can get to any of them. After trying to speak to a dozen sheikhs, one consented to receive us in his mansion. Sheikh Mohammed, who heads the Civil Liberties Committee in the Parliament, both defends and denounces the practice.
It's not a jail. It's usually detention to prevent a conflict. For instance, if 2 clans fight each other, the sheikh takes hostages from each side in order to pressure them to end their discord, especially if there's a case of murder, and then they are released. We've spoken against this more than once, both inside the parliament and with the government, because this practice is just unacceptable.
Whether the government calls it a detention cell or a prison, there appears to be 2 parallel tracks of justice for most Yemenis. One administered by the rich and one endured by the poor. Mohammed Vall, Al Jazeera, Sana'a.